All right, so oh, it's working. Wow, that just started right away, didn't it? Okay, so I guess we are live-ish. All right, so we're on to day two. Day two, we got our PyCharm from day one. I cleaned it up a little bit, made some functions, but um, not too whole lot going on here. I'll make a new file for day two. I have the kind of, well, I called it day one orig, but actually that's like the cleanup version, so I'll have to change that. Maybe I'll rename this to day two clean. Yeah. And then day two, let's go. I guess we're return to our calendar and see what day two holds. All right, let's go. Day two. Here we are. Password philosophy. Our flight departs in a few days. Easiest way down to the coast is via toboggan, naturally. The shopkeeper at the North Pole Toboggan Rental Shop is having a bad day. Something is wrong with our computers and we can't log in. Their password database seems to be a little corrupted. Some of the passwords wouldn't have been allowed by the official Toboggan corporate policy that was in effect when they were chosen. So it looks like we're going to have a little string parsing problem here. Try to debug the problem. They've created a list of passwords and the corporate policy when that password was set. For example, suppose you have the following list: 1 to 3A. Each line gives the password policy and then the password. The password policy indicates the lowest and highest number of times a given number must appear for the password to be valid. For example, 1-3A means that the password must contain A at least once and at most thrice. Two of these passwords are valid. The middle password, CDEFG, is not. It contains no instances of B and needs at least one. The first and third passwords are valid. They contain an A or 9, both within limits. How many valid policies are there? So let's get our input. I'll probably do it the same way as before. Do a little copy paste action. Call it day 2 input, day 2 input.txt. Paste that bad boy there. We'll close out day 1 input. I think for learning from yesterday, we had kind of day 1 get ints. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to call it get. Let's get the string parts. It's going to be day 2. We're going to go through the file, and this time, looking at this, the first thing I want to do when we're parsing this is get that colon out. So let's see. For each line, we're going to do line.split on the colon. That'll give us those first two parts. So that's rule and password. We're going to need to strip the password because there's a space right after the colon. Ooh, but we could split on colon space. Kind of a silly trick. Okay, so that'll give us the full password. We still need to strip the new line though, so not like that made a huge difference. So we'll say rule password equals that. We'll do password equals password dot strip. And on the other side, we want to split by space. So we take the rule, we'll take rule.split on space, which is the default argument anyway. And that will be count and letter. And then we'll split the count by a dash to get upper and lower equals count.split on the dash. Okay, so now we have all of our values. We have a upper, a lower, and the letter and the actual password. So now we can check to see. I see. We're going to end up just doing this all in one go, aren't we? So I'll just call it day 2. Let's see, and we can probably just have a count. So I'll refactor stuff later. Counts. Valid equals 0. And so then we can say if we want to find the number of instances of a certain letter in the password. So password, we're going to need to find all, which Python doesn't support. We wrote this at some point in any number of things. So we're going to find all instances of a in a string. So for letter in string, if a equals L, count plus equals 1, count equals 0, and count gets returned. So we want to find all of the letter in the password, and so if that value is between the upper and lower, upper, then we're good. We say valid plus equals 1, and when we're done we can return the valid count. Otherwise we don't add anything. We used our upper, we used our lower, we used count. We split the count, yep. And then it looks like it's inclusive, so we did that. Let's run this and see what it looks like. Day 2. Run day 2. Not supported between string and int, that's fair. Which one is a string? Which one's this split caused it to be okay. So we want int. I wonder if I could wrap the whole thing in an int. Does that work? Int 2 3 comma like no. That's funky. Alright, so I have to do it separately. So it goes upper equals int of upper, lower equals int of lower. Whoop. Alright, so part 1, we want to print that. 0. Good stuff. So that did not work at all. So let's see what's going on here. So let's print out some values. We're going to print lower bound, upper bound. Well, we already have all of that. So let's just print the line each time. So we want, for example, here, and I want to see the count that's coming back. So I'll get this. So let's, you know what? I'm gonna make a new file. I'm gonna call this day2 input short.txt and kind of take an abbreviated version of like known good, not just good, but just, it's a subset. We want to get some test cases in here, right? Put it in here. Day2, put that here, short. All right, so now we just got a handful of cases. What am I doing wrong here? We're printing the line, we're printing the finds. It's finds 1, 2, 3, 4, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's not valid. Okay. 3 to 11. Okay, this looks like it should be valid. So why is it not? Oh, no, that is returning an integer. Is this behavior not what I think it does? Like these two should both be valid. So it's returning a number. What is lower and upper? Let's try checking that. Why? And I'm not sure why there's a new line. Oh, because there's a new line at the end of line, which I never stripped. Oops. Upper, lower. So upper, lower, and the result. upper, lower, and the result. So 3 less than or equal to 5 less than or equal to 99 is true. So do I have valid in what is going on? Why is this still returning 0? And does it have to do with this new line problem? I sure hope not. That would be a silly reason. I don't think that's the issue here. All right, I'm definitely making a really silly mistake somewhere. Let me try printing this. Well, I mean, this won't print because I added 1, but just for sanity check. Valid. Okay, yeah, it's definitely not getting into there. But why? Oh, do I have it reversed? Upper, oh, come on. It's lower and then upper here. Yeah, I realized that when I looked at this, it said upper, lower, and I was like, these values are small and big. All right, now we have 3 valid ones. Okay, so I'm gonna comment that out. I'm gonna comment this out. And we're gonna, whoops, do the full version. 625. All right, happy enough with that. Let's try it. Yes, all right, 1 gold star down, 1 to go. And this really, I just realized the title of this not quite right, but there we go. Oh, that's hilarious. How is it that there's a viewer? I forgot to even post this link. Continue to part 2. While it appears that you validated the passwords correctly, they don't seem to be what the official authentication system is expecting. The shopkeeper suddenly realizes he accidentally explained the password policies from his old job at the sled rental place. Maybe we should just go rent a sled instead of a toboggan. The actual policy is a little different. Each policy describes 2 positions in the password, where 1 means the first character, 2 means the second character. It's 1 index 1, not index 0 indexed. So that's fun. Yes, be careful. Toboggans have no concept of index 0. Exactly one of these positions must contain the given letter. Other occurrences of the letter are irrelevant. So position 1 and position 3 have to be A. Oh no, at least one of them have to be A. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna refactor the code a touch to, instead of doing all the logic here, like that, we're just gonna insert, let's see, we need upper, lower, the letter, and the password in a tuple, and insert that into a list. Let me copy this whole thing. So let's do print part 2. We'll call this parse file, and instead of valid, we're gonna have I don't know, elements, rules. It's just gonna be a list of the tuples. Rules. This is gone, and what we want is a tuple that contains, we're gonna get it right this time, we're gonna do lower first, upper, which really shouldn't be called that anymore, and then the letter and the password. So now that those have all been converted, it'll be nice. Rules dot append, and we need that double parentheses to insert a tuple into the list. Let's call parse file inside of day 2 part 2. Parse file, we're gonna get the rules. For a rule in rules, let's say it'll be first, second, right? The first position and the second position. Letter, password equals R. So we're going to unpack that tuple. And then we say if first, what is it, -1 at password is letter, or same thing but with second is letter, then we're good. Then valid plus equals 1. I know I don't have a valid yet. Valid equals 0. We're still getting counts. 2, 9. Ooh, both position and position. Okay, only exactly one. So we need an XOR. I don't remember how to do an XOR in Python. Blast. Okay, manual XOR it is. So an exclusive OR means this one has the letter or this one has the letter. But if both of them have the letter, it's wrong. So then we say if the same thing, but with an AND. So first we check, do one of them have it? If one of them has it, we check, do both of them have it? If both of them have it, we continue. But if not both of them has it, only that implies only one of them has it, then we say valid plus 1, return valid, print day 2 part 2, run it, and I'm getting a smaller number than before. That seems promising, and we're there. All right, so this was an interesting problem. It had you know, a nice twist. I was happy with how I parsed the string for the most part, minus that one glitch with the upper lower being swapped when I did this bit here, not realizing that. So good reminder to properly print. What's funny is I even printed upper and then lower, right? But then I needed lower upper and just never saw that. Very tricky, but yeah, pretty clean here. I'm pretty happy with that for today, and we'll see you tomorrow, I guess, for day 3. And hopefully my audio recorded. And I think, yeah. I don't know if, so I'm waiting for the video to catch up, but I don't know how long that'll take. So I'm like looking at the thing.